What do you want to talk about?
Wrestling. Wrestling is good.
Why do you do that? Oh. Why not?
It's fake.
Wrestling's not fake!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Ronald Ray here, your boy with a cornbread accent. Welcome you to this week's edition of Spot Show live stream. Here we go. I'm trying to be my own producer. You know how it goes. Anyway, yes, welcome to Spot Show live stream. It is Thursday, the day before Friday. Some people call it Friday Eve. That sounds cool with me. I think might be a pretty interesting show this week. Like I said last week, going to spend a lot of time at AEW. And as I've mentioned before, sometimes as I'm traveling, especially like at 3 or 4 in the morning, there's a lot of time to think about bullshit. And I did that sometime last year. Can't remember. They had the Forbidden Door pay-per-view, and I sat there and kind of wondered. Well, actually, a Twitter post got me thinking, or X, whatever you want to call it. If there was a Forbidden Door with AEW versus WWE, what were your matches going to be? Of course, I went a step further and had some matches, did some fancy booking, yada, yada, yada. Well, I thought, what the heck? I'm going to do it this week. This one features if Shane McMahon would enter AEW or come in and help out with AEW. How will that go? Particularly if he's a on-air talent. So it should be fun, should be interesting, and like I said, it's all about having a little bit of fun. Where's my? Anyway, yes, I am live in a living color, like Dusty Rhodes would say. So, if you're having fun as well, enjoying yourself, click that like button. Also, or if I'm on two streams here. I'm on YouTube and Facebook Live. So, Facebook Live, they have the like button. Well, they have the thumbs. They both have. Click the thumbs up button. Tell me, don't. Well, I can't shut up. This is my show. I can't shut up. So yeah, wherever you follow, click the thumbs up button on Facebook. Hit me up in the comments. Facebook, hit me up in the chat. Just so you can have fun or ask questions or put in your 2 cents of what do you think I'm talking about. Because we'll be doing AEW Dynasty predictions tonight as well. So yeah, join me in the chat or the comments, whichever one you're doing. Also, if you're not a YouTube subscriber yet, click that subscribe button. It's greatly appreciated. Also, if you're watching me on Facebook Live, drop me a friends request or a follow. I'm cool with either way. Because, like I said, we're all friends here. I think. I hope. Maybe. I'm pretty sure close enough to be friends that nobody wants to put me in a hole anywhere. I've been watching a lot, or not watching, listening to a lot of Dixie Mafia podcasts. So, and one of the places I'm going to next week I went to a pre-con meeting last week, and if you didn't know any better, you thought it probably was one of those old-fashioned Dixie Mafia meetings. We went down this little gravel road and behind some tall grass and weeds and stuff like that, and a bunch of people with white pickup trucks, because that's what most construction workers drive, especially the company vehicles. Except for mine, mine's a gray Toyota Tundra. Well, right now it's not gray; it's green. But but yeah, you would think it was like one of those old fashioned Dixie Mafia meetings. But yeah, so yeah, we're going to do a little dynasty predictions. I think they got a few matches on or label right now. I don't know if they have everything. When I looked, it's like, well, after last night it was 7 matches, so we will definitely get into that. Going to it a little bit differently if I can just keep on track here. Some of this will be who I think will win, and some of this will tie into my fantasy booking section. Uh, Now, when I do that, some of it was going to be a little detailed, and of course, I didn't really finish all the details. And plus, I'm pretty sure if I went detail by detail by detail by detail by detail, uh, this live stream will not end. Everybody be asleep by the time I'm done. Uh, I try to keep these things around an hour and a half. Sometimes, sometimes I try to keep it an hour. It's sometimes I shoot for an hour, goes to an hour and a half. Sometimes we get into other subjects, and it floats into 2 hours. So, uh, all in all, it's supposed to be all in good fun. So, yeah, if you don't want to chime in with your, let me try to make sure everything's still on here. Okay, live there. It says I'm live. Facebook says I'm live. YouTube says I'm live. All right, let's get this thing going here. So if you don't want, like I said, you want to share your opinions, hey, just drop a friendly hello. That's always appreciated. All right. So we're gonna get right to it. Uh, Dynasty is this Sunday in Philadelphia. I cannot read that. Hold on a second, folks. I still can't read it from there on my little screen. Okay, I just can't read it, period. The Lycora Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It should be a hot crowd. Philadelphia is a pretty hot town for professional wrestling, especially their brand of professional wrestling. So everything should be good or be good there. Me particularly, I probably will not be watching because I'm going to have to get up early, early Monday morning. Like I said, I'm going to be doing a couple of jobs in Albany, Georgia. Yeah, I done heard all the I've heard all the sayings that, hey, if you're in Albany, watch yourself. Well, what's up, Joe King? Uh, Going okay so far. We got it Thursday. Yeah, this week kind of been passing by pretty quickly. I do not fast enough because I got to work a little bit Saturday. In fact, I think I'm still getting work text now. So if I pause for a second, I might grab my phone. If I throw up a big "I'll be right back" sign, that's work related, and it pays the bills. So so you gotta answer those text messages. But I think we got everything situated now. Man, good for you. Um, I mean, luckily I only got to work about 30 minutes from where I live, so that's the good thing. The bad thing about it is kind of a pain in the neck. And then the other thing is got to get clothes and other things done to get ready to go out of town. So that sucks. Uh, uh, be heading back south, Albany. I wish they had, started this back in maybe late February, because South Georgia can get a little hot down there. Not going all the way. It's like 4 hours away, but it's Albany. If I get done with things quickly enough, I'll tell you, because this is my second time I've been to Albany as far as doing a project. So if you want to hear kind of it's one of those you gotta be there type funny stories, but I don't mind telling that story. But like I said, let's get to the wrestling part because pretty sure you're all wrestling fans and can care less about my agony in Albany coming up. Anyway, so yes, this looks like a pretty good card. Right now, I got 7 matches that I know of that I can only find, but I'm pretty sure here comes Collision. What, Saturday maybe? Or are they gonna have it Friday? I can't remember. So I'm pretty sure Collision they'll announce more matches and more matches online, and it'll probably be double what it is now. Not to count out also about 3 or 4 buy-in dark matches. So anyway, let's get right to it. Of course, I don't know the order of the card either, so we're just gonna go right into it. We got Chris Jericho versus Bandito. Chris Jericho is putting up the Ring of Honor World Championship, and Bandito is putting up his mask. I'm let's try this again. I'm gonna go with yeah. Gotta fill up 6 hours of wrestling, so uh, definitely does not cater to the working man because gotta have it till 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, and I gotta get up probably around 3 in the morning on Monday, so definitely doesn't do me any favors. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Bandito on this one. I think this title reign of the second, I guess this is the second Ring of Honor World title reign for Chris Jericho, making him like what 9-time, 10-time world champion if you count WWE, AEW. Why we count Ring of Honor, I have no idea. And doesn't Ring of Honor got their own pay per view coming up soon? How come? Seems like Chris Jericho does more on Collision and Dynamite than he does on Ring of Honor, which I don't know. I don't watch Ring of Honor. Not paying for that subscription yet. But anyway, I'm gonna go with Bandito on this one. That way he can keep his mask, um, and be a Ring of Honor champion, all that good stuff. All right. Part of the Owen Hart men's tournament, quarterfinal match. He only cares about those who sit at home in mom's basement, hardcore fans. Damn. I don't even have a basement. Now, the size of my, if you take all the walls out, the washroom, take all the walls out, maybe a bit be big enough for a basement. If I only had like I just need a one little section of, I need a 2 bedroom, real bad. But, but anyway, so part of the Owen Hart men's tournament quarterfinal match, Will Ospreay will go up against a new signee, Kevin Knight. Seen him last night. Sorry, I apologize. No Dynamite recap this week. Got real busy today with stuff, and then got home, trying to set this up. Um, I'll explain more later, but uh, so basically no recap. I apologize. Maybe do a little one this weekend. Yeah, I've fallen a Working Man fan. Maybe one day. Maybe one day I'll get lucky enough, get enough fans and subscribers. Hint, hint. Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge. I can watch all this stuff, even the pay per views on Sunday. Of course, that kind of be my job then. Anyway, so uh, let's go back to that one. I'm going with okay. I'm going with Will Ospreay on this one. This falls into uh some of my what I call it fanboy bullshit booking, fancy booking. Yeah, it kind of falls into that. Get into that later, but yeah, Will Ospreay will win this one. Triple threat match for the AEW International Championship. The champion Kenny Omega defending against Ricochet and another newcomer, Mike Speedball Bailey. I almost slipped up there. I almost called him 8 Ball Bailey, but if you ever see him wrestle, you kind of almost makes you wonder: was he trained by Buddy Landell? Who knows? Anyway, nah, he's decent. Uh, yeah, he's not one of those. Yes, they got him. Here we go, straight to the top. Not that kind of guy. Just eh, up mid card guy to me so far. But I'm not. I'll honestly admit I haven't followed his career totally. So, but this one I'm going with Kenny Omega. Let's see. We got women's title match, AEW Women's World Championship match. Timeless Tony Storm going up against what's her name? Mega Bane. She's pretty impressive so far. They just gave Tony the title back. I was about to say Tiger. They just gave Tony the Tiger back. No, they just gave Tony the championship back. Don't see why you want to take it off of her right now. Don't know why they giving Megan a match now. Nothing gets her. I think they should have built her up a little more. Then come in and maybe beat Tony Storm, but they kind of just putting her on there. So, but I think Tony Storm will win this one. Hold on one. All right, here we go again. Hopefully that might be all the interruptions. Next up, we got the AEW World Trios Championship match. All right, this goes under has some fancy booking a little bit. Nothing really to do with Shane McMahon, but other stuff. Me personally, I think this will be cool. Death Riders keep the championships over Reddit FTR. They've been teasing a Dax Harwood heel change. I say screw that. Let them both turn against Edge. After the match, Edge takes the fall. Uh, he's getting up. Let FTR hit him with a shatter machine. I think they're teasing a little breakup with the patriarchy. You know, Nick Wayne and Christian Cage. Um, let Christian get out of that. Have one little batch. Who cares? Then go do whatever you want to do with Nick Wayne. Uh, Send him to Ring of Honor. Do something. Kid's got talent. Kid's got that. You want to punch him in the face type heat. So work with him a little bit, build him back up. Ring of Honor. Then maybe come back to the main show. But make it short and sweet between him and Christian Cage. That way, Christian Cage can team back up with Edge and has some Christian or excuse me, Cope or Adam Copeland. They keep calling Al Copeland on TV or Copeland on TV. So Adam Copeland, Christian Cage, FTR matches. I am down with that. Why not? So yeah, let FTR turn heel on Edge. Attack him a few times. Let Christian just have a one-off match with Nick Wayne and hunky dory. Send Nick Wayne wherever. Then let maybe one of the beatdowns that rated FTR or FTR gives Copeland. Have Christian Cage come out, help him out, do some matches and stuff like that. But I will probably be somewhat surprised if rated FTR wins. But I think Death Riders will prevail on this one. This brings us to our main event here. Let me go ahead and scroll on down. Scroll on down. I'm go ahead and say right now, Moxley keeps it, regardless of what fancy booking I got lined up. John Moxley wins. He defeats Swerve Strickland. Goes on to face whoever all in. If I was going to make a guess, this has nothing to do with my little fancy booking. This has just guess. I'm guessing Will Ospreay might win it all and go on to face John Moxley at All In. However, regardless, John Moxley will leave Dynasty as AEW World Champion still. So before I get into it's the AEW crowd. He can save Adam Copeland one time and boom. And have him and knowing that they're gonna have matchups with FTR. That's all you need. And Christian ain't got to say, go. Christian's a pro. He knows what to say. He can go on the mic, run down the crowd. He don't have to be like 100% babyface, like smiley, hand clapping, babyface. Say if that happens the way I described it. Let Christian have that one off on Nick Wayne. Nothing against him, but this is nothing. This is doing nothing for Nick Wayne right now. Or put him and the other guys as a tag team too, and see what happens. But that first time he saves Copeland, they ain't got to do the cheery, all is forgiven, big group hug moment with Copeland or anything like that. He just come out and say, "Look, I really don't care about you, Adam. I'm just not. If anybody's going to take you out of wrestling, it's going to be me. It's not these. It's not going to be these two jackwagons FDR." Yeah, there you go. And like I said, the AEW fan base, especially if you're going to have the legendary tag team, we can say they are Christian Cage and Adam Cole, Christian and Edge. Screw it. Screw those names. Screw that Copeland and Christian Cage names. Um, you put Edge and Christian Cage, Adam Copeland together. People know who they are, and they're going to go against FTR. How much time is it going to be? The AEW, like you said, the little wrestling their fans are going to mess in their jeans. They're going to be throwing their, uh, virtual underwear at the screen at that. I'm just being a fan, normal person. I ain't going to be throwing my virtual, underwear at the screen or anything like that. But I think it'd be a cool little program. Uh, I don't think you're not going to get much out of Christian and Cage. Uh, let them be a tag team, which brings me to another situation later in my fantasy booking, but has nothing to do with Christian and Edge. But put Christian Edge against FTR. It's almost let me just say what it is. It'll be a dream match. But yeah, like you said, they started cheering Swerve even after he broke into somebody's house. Um, they did something pretty cool last night too. I will say it was pretty cool. Actually did one little thing that kind of made things cool. Then he, Swerve got his ass kicked. But so anyway, like I said, let's kind of look at this bracket first. Can y'all see that pretty good? I can blow it up even more. You don't have to see my face. If you want to see my face. I can put my face right there. The winner faces me. God, I can put myself out there. It doesn't matter. All right, so there's your tournament. Like I said, at Dynasty, you're going to have Will Ospreay versus Kevin Knight, Brody King versus Kensuke Takeshita, uh, Takeshna, excuse me. The T is the N. Mark Briscoe versus Kyle Fletcher, Adam Page versus a wild card. Have no clue who Jay White has another injury. He's out. He's going to be having surgery. Maybe they'll put uh, Juice Robinson in there. That might be cool. But have no clue who they might put that Mike Bailey in there. That might since I'm thinking that Kenny Omega is going to be keep the championship, they might throw Ricochet in there. I have no clue. But as far as my predictions or my fantasy booking is concerned, as far as when this, because I was sitting there, um, like I said, I'm just going up to all in, and not all of it is in full detail. Like I said, we'll be here all freaking night. So the person that's going to get the chance at all in, um, Will's going to beat Kevin Knight, like I just said. Takeshna defeats Brody King. Who cares who the wild card is? Adam Page is going to defeat them. Fletcher will defeat Mark Briscoe. Page in the final. Takeshna in the final. Page beats Takeshna, gets the chance at all in. I'll get to the all in match with not going to have any spoilers yet, so be patient. We will get there. But let me read my notes now. So, back on July 31st of last year, a photo was shared of a meeting between AEW owner Tony Khan. They was possibly having a meeting. I think it was supposedly at an airport or something like that. And for all we know, they just talked. Fast forward to the night. I'm just in a way. Y'all really don't want to look at me anyway. Fast forward to September 26th. Another photo of Shane McMahon was shared, this time with the Young Bucks, who are, by the way, not talent, but not only talent, but executive vice presidents of AEW. This sparked rumors about possibly Shane McMahon coming into AEW. The latest, I'll quote right here if you can see me. I am down. Hoping you see my hands. The latest news, according to the intranet, is that it's not going to happen because Shane O'Mac wanted a lot more. Where he wanted a lot. Um, this from Jonathan Coachman. This is what he supposedly said. I have it on good authority that Shane McMahon asked for the world. He wanted equity in AEW, and he wanted to come in and run the entire show. Honestly, it was probably the first time I said to myself, I actually agree with Tony Khan. Because Tony definitely goes to Shane. Let's make it clear that it wasn't the other way around. So it looks like it's not going to happen. What, like I said, even when these rumors were going about back in July, I even said if I was Shane McMahon and I was coming in, I'll buy in a portion of this company, like I said, equity in the company. Um, Anybody who once he's executive vice president, EVP contract, uh, go out. I'm not renewing that portion of the contract, or we're going to have to rework some contracts to where the part of EVP gets out. No offense to the Young Bucks, I get it. They found a place, or they helped talk a billionaire and shelling a lot of money, along with Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega. But now it needs some a lot of things needs to be reworked, and that's one of the many of things. So, with all that being said, so like I said, don't look like it's going to happen. But the question is, what if it did? Well, let's get our wrestling geek on, do some fantasy booking, and see what I come up with. Like I said, the first portion of this is going to be kind of detailed. Then there's going to be a break in it because honestly, I didn't finish everything. And if I'll still, first of all, I'll still be writing it right now. I was going to uh, be very detailed in this. I didn't think Joe King mentioned a few weeks ago over analyzing stuff, and that's sometimes what I do. So here we go. And let's start out with Dynasty. That's the pay per view coming up. Sorry, I don't have a lot of pictures of everything. So just use your imagination. All right, camera spans the crowd. At some point, I say middle of the first portions, after the first maybe 3 or 4 matches of the pay per view, we see the camera span and we see Shane McMahon. Then Taz, who, because it's pretty sure the 3-man commentary team is going to be Taz, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur. Excalibur, Tony Schiavone doesn't have that much history in the WWE when Shane McMahon came in as a talent. So it would make more sense if Taz says this. So Taz's gonna say, "Hey, that's my old friend Shane O'Mac." Uh, then of course, because if you've been watching Dynamite, I guess they entertain themselves at the commentator table and try to be funny. So Taz is going to try to be funny again and said, "Hey, that's my old friend Shane O'Mac. Not sure if I can say his real name. Maybe I can say that. Maybe I can say that because the whole copyright thing." So we see that portion. Don't really acknowledge it. No, don't flash his name or anything. Just pan out, say he's there. Crowd, cheer a little bit, whatnot. You know, make sure everybody, if Twitter, X, and stuff like that is going to go nuts if they see him. Just doing that, so you don't have to make a big deal of it. Not yet. So here we go. We got Dynasty. It's going down. Main event time. Swerve Strickland against John Moxley. You know what's going to happen. Multiple people, of course, is going to get involved. The whole Death Riders. Some people from, Team AEW, if you want to call that. Um, Maria Shriver, she's going to come in, try to use the briefcase. Will Nightingale comes in, counters that. Briefcase is laying in the ring. Wheeler Yuta tries to go for it, but Shane McMahon has already jumped the rail, slid in the ring, and grabbed it himself and kind of pulled away from Wheeler Yuta and kind of shoves him out of the ring. Uh, as that's going on, Swerve hits the house call on Moxley. Sees Shane McMahon holding a briefcase. Shane says, "Hey, don't worry about me. I got this. End it. Let's go." And as Swerve turns around, that's when Shane McMahon takes that briefcase and whacks Swerve Strickland Mac in the back. I know a lot of people don't remember this. Go back on YouTube, say this. Hit him like do it like when Jim Cornette, when they Midnight Express was good for a while, then he was trying to manage the Dynamic Dudes as well. Then the Midnights hated it. Dynamic Dudes, they were kind of feuding a little bit, and they had a match at Clash of Champions. Um, then I think Bobby is trying to cheat, use a rack or whatever, and Cornette has it. Uh, then he tells Shane, "Hey, pin him," and that's when Jim Cornette takes a racket, nails Shane Douglas with it of the Dynamic Dudes. That's pretty much how I see Shane McMahon hitting Swerve Strickland. Hey, Brandon Watson. So do it like that. John Moxley covers him. 1, 2, 3. Death Riders celebrate. Here comes Powerhouse Hobbs with Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay. They come help Swerve out of the ring as they're celebrating. Tony Khan's in the back, coming to the curtain area in the entrance. He's being held back by Christopher Daniels and Jerry Lynn. Even Samoa Joe is right there. He's kind of like kind of a legit, I think, still locker room leader. They're trying to, hey, you don't want none of this right now. You're obviously not a fighter, Tony Khan. Tony just has that shock in his head, like the what the fuck, what the hell, what's happening, and that's how the pay per view ends, and goes off the air. So that's the introductory of Shane McMahon being part of John Moxley's group. So that's breaking the internet, breaking social media, all over Twitter. So the following Dynamite that Wednesday, and they go ahead and advertise this like, Shane McMahon's not going to be at the arena, but we are sending Jim Ross to Connecticut to interview Shane McMahon at his home. And they'll tease it a little bit. It's like, okay, we flew out there Monday. We done filmed it. Put little put little teasers in it, not the whole interview, but a couple little teasers in it. Get the fans, kind of interested. Got to build up some interest. I mean, you're having a McMahon on your. You're not having Shane McMahon. You're not having Vince McMahon, of course. You're having Shane McMahon. Uh, so Wednesday night comes. They played an interview in full, not a long interview, and I'm pretty sure. I just wrote down what he possibly say. I'm not saying he should say it word for word. Of course, like I written it, I wrote it. See, that's the reason you should say word for word from what I say, uh, what I write. 'Cause I just say written. Uh, I wrote or typed, however you want to call it. Um, but this is ballpark. This will be cliff notes. If I was a right hand person, or saying, hey, say it like this. Fancy booking, right? So they're sent down. Shane says, hey, all I wanted growing up was to be just like my dad, Vince McMahon. Let him say it. It's no secret. Uh, he says, when I got to a certain age, almost teenager, I came in, did some ref work. You look at it. There's old footage of Shane McMahon being a ref. I swept the ring. I helped put it up. Um, I did all this while baby sis was going to academic camps, summer camps, spring break with her friends, vacation with other friends' family, all of that. So you know what, Jr. Uh, I finally get to be a star on the air. My dad puts me on TV. I'm getting into the business now. I'm thinking, all right, good. Uh, I'm doing good. I'm getting ready to start getting groomed to be the heir apparent to take over my family's company. Not just my dad's, my grandfather's company. I'm going to be one to take it over. Then suddenly, baby sis decides that she wants in the family business. All of a sudden, she's being groomed to take over. So here we are in 2025, and for the most part, thanks to my dad's ego, thinking he's God and he can just use anybody, that that's bit him in the ass. That's biting him on the ass right now. Let him say it. I say, let him say it. And to quote a former talent that was here for a while, uh, they pretty much handed the World Wrestling Federation was handed to another corporation by my idiot sister, and now her doofus husband, my doofus son-in-law, is running the company that should be mine right now. So I'm here in AEW to take my rightful place in the wrestling world. It is my legacy to rule the wrestling world. And right now, that's all you need to know, JR, for now. I'll be in Boston next week with my guys, the Death Riders. So that's the interview right there, about how he feels that he should be running the federation or running WWE. I'll let, I won't say let him say uh, World Wrestling Entertainment. I'll say World Wrestling Federation because that was his dream for it to be, not World Wrestling Entertainment. So, and yes, I know I harp on some people who get on AEW, talk about the other company and stuff like that, and dog it, but this is his family he's talking about. Gotta put a little. I mean, even though they probably, he's gonna call his sister and brother-in-law and say, "Hey, y'all see me on TV?" Yada yada yada. see y'all Thanksgiving or whatever. See y'all at the cookout this weekend. Um, and you're probably going to tell him that, hey, I'm going to call you, hey, Paul Levesque, I'm going to call you a doofus. And sis, I'm going to call you an idiot again. Kind of like, when it's growing up. But in this, like I said, I know I kind of give people like the Will Ospreay thing a hard time that, CM Punk, where he wasn't in the WWE, a hard time about ragging it on the company and stuff like that. But to me, I feel this is family to him. He, in his mind, he thinks he should be the heir apparent. He should be running the company right now, not another corporation for one thing. It should be still in the McMahon name, and he should be the head of it. So, um, we get to the following week on Dynamite. Death Riders successfully defend their trios championship against, who cares, Top Flight and AR Fox, despite Wheeler Yuta getting, just like, okay, I forgot to mention this part of Dynasty. They do keep the championship, but there was a lot of times Wheeler Yuta had to be saved. Same thing happens here. Wheeler Yuta is totally looking like the weak link of the team. So Shane McMahon, after they win, come into the ring, gets on the mic. He says, "You know what? I used to love sitting and listening to old timers talking about the territory days. They talk about guys coming in to do a hostile takeover or a strong arm takeover of territories." I digress a little bit. Go back to listen to Ron Fuller's Studcast. He talks about his grandfather Herb Welch exactly doing that back in like the 30s and 40s or something like that. And I, sitting there, now that I'm thinking about it, that's what my dad did. Now, he didn't go strong arm taking over territories, but he went in, bought talent, bought TV, and took over all these territories to rule the wrestling world. Now, Tony Khan, I know you're watching this. I tried to come to you and say, hey, let's partner up. I got plenty of money. I can put some money into it. Uh, Let me buy a portion of the company, and let's go and help this company grow. But I never got a call from you, Tony. I kept on getting calls from John Moxley, who, by the way, I'm going to go ahead and let the cat out of the bag. I discovered John Moxley. I seen him in the Indies. I, gave good word to my dad and my doofus brother-in-law about John Moxley. So they signed him. So they tried to turn him into a wrestling entertainer by the name of Dean Ambrose. Nah, this is John Moxley. He's a wrestler. He's a fighter. He's not an entertainer. Now with that out of the way, John, my buddy, he would call me and say, man, I do not like the way this company is going. And I watch the product and I agree with him 100%. That's why I went to Tony Khan and say, hey, let's partner up. But he never called me back. So guess what, Tony? This is a hostile takeover. Not only with money that I have, but we're going to strong arm this company from you as well. And I will take my rightful place as the ruler of the wrestling world. How does it sound so far? Does it sound interesting? So we go to another week. Shane McMahon, we just got a tag match here. Claudio and Pac versus a couple other people. John Moxley and Wheeler Yuta, they're sitting at ringside. They're getting involved. Kind of got a couple of jabronis that kind of smacking around. And Shane McMahon's at the commentator's desk this week, doing a little color himself, saying, repeated, say, hey, I discovered John Moxley when he was an independent guy. as well as Claudio Castagnoli and Pac. But when they got to the Big E, the big, you know, major league promotion, they didn't realize that, Mox and Claudio and Pac, they they were not entertainers. They're fighters. Moxley is a fighter. Claudio is a wrestler. Pac is a wrestler. Jeez, for God's sakes, they wanted to call Pac Mighty Mouse. Then he'll say it's like, but this Wheeler Yuta guy, I'm gonna be honest, he is not impressing me much. And he's going because if I'm gotta say so, if I had to say so, he's got to say this. Yeah, like you, Excalibur. What's up with that stupid mask you wear? And what the hell? Does anybody know your wrestling career except for the 500 people who saw you in California? I mean, I was one of those 500 people. I wasn't impressed. Who are you? So get some heat doing that. Might as well not knock him too. So fast for go to the next week. Um, and oh, by the way, he says, the Ops, Hook, Samoa Joe, and Shibata. They've been wanting a trios title shot. They've been getting some wins and stuff like that. Now they've been getting wins as well. So they've been saying, hey, we want to shot those trios championship. So on the May 7th show, it's like, Wheeler's going to have a chance to prove himself a little bit. He's going to say, I've done signed a match. The Ops has been wanting it. So we're going to give Samoa Joe, Hook, your son, is that your son, Taz? All right. We're going to give him a shot. And Taz is, being Taz, like, oh, be careful there. Be careful what you say. It's like, oh, no heat, brother. We're going to give him and Shibata a shot at the Trios Championship. So we go back to the 14th. We get a little interview shot in the back or wherever, don't matter. Shane reinstates that he discovered Pac, Claudio Mox, but it's not too warmed up to Wheeler Yuta yet. And so I did go ahead and sign y'all against the Ops. And you know what? I just found out today another person I kind of seen on Independence and spoke highly of, went to bat for him to my dad and Doofus brother-in-law. They call him something else. Who cares what they call him there? But here's Chris Hero. Chris Hero is legitimately a backstage agent in AEW. He brings out, Chris Hero. It's like, hey, John, Hawk, especially you, Claudio. How's this going? They all kind of like, fist bump and little hugs here and there, especially with Claudio and Chris Hero because they were the kings of wrestling. And he said, yep. Again, Ops made the challenges. So tonight they're getting their title shot. I guess it's trios champion. Claudio Castagnoli, Pac, and Wheeler Yuta. And oh, by the way, Wheeler, don't mess up tonight. So, of course, they had the match. Wheeler Yuta in this match will look great. He'll have a great showing, has some near falls. Shane will be at ringside, kind of looking impressed. Hey, I guess I might come around here. But of course, at the end of the match, Shane gets on the apron. Looks like he's about to hand Wheeler Yuta title, chairs, suitcase. Who cares? But Samoa Joe comes from behind, kicks Yuta from behind, causing him to hit Shane. Roll up, 1, 2, 3. we get new trios champions: Samoa Joe, Shibata, and Hook. So they grab the belts, they go into the back, they're celebrating, and Shane McMahon's just berating Wheeler Yuta, like, you screw up, and you're, doing the usual, hey, you stood there, you kind of hit me, whatever. It's like, and Moss is kind of trying to separate it, stuff like that. Oh, he's okay, kid. And the other two, they kind of shrugging him off or whatever. And then, Mott's kind of throws his hands up, and Shane throws his hands up. But don't forget, Chris Hero's in that ring, and bam, out of nowhere, Chris Hero forearms Wheeler Yuta. Death Riders start to attack Wheeler. And now we have a reunited Kings of Wrestling. I think Chris Hero is around 45, 46 now. Claudio, he's getting up there, but guess what? Um, Chris Hero is still moving around some. We all know Claudio still go, but put them together. It takes whatever one can do, the other can do, and stuff like that. So, and like I said, the AEW crowd would appreciate this. This is AEW's wheelhouse right here. Put two guys who are pretty much one of the top tag teams in Ring of Honor and in the Independents together again, but they're heels. So we get the buildup of the Kings. They win matches on Dynamite, Collision. Shane McMahon goes up to MVP, gives them a proposition. So, hey, won't you give the Kings a shot at the belts? If the Kings win, they win the belts, but the Kings lose. The Death Riders, me and the Death Riders will leave the Hurt Syndicate alone. Won't bother you. You go do your thing, and we do ours, and we'll be in peace. So, like I said, already said, Adam Page wins the Owen Hart tournament. Gets a shot at Moxley. The following week, before All In or whatever, or maybe at All In, the Kings of Wrestling goes up against Hurt Syndicate, and they pull off winning the belts from the Hurt Syndicate. Maybe by this time they've done add another member, therefore it'll be Shelton and the other person. Hold on one second, I have to write the name down. I forgot the name. Mm, that guy's name is Cedric Alexander. They probably have Cedric back in by this time, or in by this time maybe. And he can take the fall. It's not going to hurt him. Everything's all good with that. Uh, so we got that going on. They win the tag belts from the Hurt Syndicate, not Business Syndicate. All right. Like I said, all this kind of leave a bunch of details out and stuff like that. Because like I said, if I just kept on, it will be I'll still be here writing it, and we'll be talking about it till 5 in the morning. So let me fast forward to a little bit. Come all in. Just a side note, I would have Ricochet go ahead to beat Kenny Omega for the International Championship. At All In, the Kings will defend against Brody King and Buddy Matthews, but beat them. So we're gonna have a good old no disqualification match for the AEW World Championship. It's going to be John Moxley versus Hangman Adam Page. Probably do a lot of build up. Say, hey, you're the one that's got the chance to end this thing tonight, end their run. We're be here behind you 100%. This will be Omega, Will Ospreay, even Swerve a little bit. He'll be in there. They might still have a little bit of heat. We're definitely going to keep that kind of going, but not too much, especially after last night. Don't know, not sure if anybody watched last night. They kind of got face to face again when Swerve was looking for Moxley. And Anna Page said, "Hey, you broke into my house." Swerve's like, "You burnt my house," and Page was like, "You deserve it." Swerve was like, "I know." So pretty okay stuff. They actually did a little bit of storytelling there. I was actually impressed by that one segment. So, uh, no disqualification, and I'm going to go a little bit old school, a little bit. I think I've seen it done a few times, not a lot of times. So, John Moss is going to win, of course, but he's going to have a lot, a lot of help from the Death Riders. We'll have the cameras go in the back and see, dressing room doors are jammed, locked up somehow, they chained up, however they want to do it. We might get a little high tech here. We'll have Tony Schiavone say, "Hey, I'm getting or all the commentators say, "Hey, I'm getting kind of a call here." Schiavone answers like, I'm getting a FaceTime. We got a FaceTime group call here from Kenny Omega. So they work it, rig it to where everybody sees what's going on in the back. And it's got all the boys sitting there in the locker room, trying to kick the door in and everything. Uh, like, who do I have here? Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, Hobbs is back there trying to, bulldozer, use his body as a bulldozer to break the door open. And, but Omega Center is like, "Look, can you hear me? Is anybody out there? Can you hear me? We're locked in here. Uh, we see on the monitor, man, they're beating the hell out of Adam Page. Anybody be around to help them out?" And just so happened, Swerve Strickland was in the parking lot getting ready to leave. He sees this. We don't have to see, I guess you can see, we can watch, uh, another cameraman. They can do this. They got plenty of cameras. They got plenty of money to have plenty of cameras. So we see Swerve drop his bags, run back into the building, uh, go help, grab a chair, start swinging her way at everybody. Uh, well, you even have the Young Bucks throw a set, grab a couple of chairs, and help out. They're going to be in like street clothes, uh, and had their little headphones on and stuff like that because they were helping with production. So they can come out, help Adam Page before they injure him. So that's how I would end All In. And unfortunately, that's as far as I got. That is as far as I got so far. A couple little off things I was thinking about too. So I know I had this idea when we was just bullshitting here one day or one night on live. I forgot what show it was. I need to start writing this down. But I don't. I got a pad and stuff to write stuff down, but I left it in my bag. So anyway, um, I had the idea for the hurt, swerving the hurt business little angle, where you know, a couple times they showed a little sign of respect, Swerve Strickland, Adam Page, and this is the old Jeff Jarrett, Robert Fuller thing. Jeff Jarrett, Robert Fuller, they feuded for like a year or two, something like that, on and off for like a year or two. Then I think Jeff Jarrett got in a feud with the Moondogs or somebody like that, and came on TV. He's like, Lance Russell, I think I found me a partner, and to tell you the truth, I think I made a deal with the devil, but uh, when I called this man, I was like, look, would you be my? Let's go ahead and bring the man out here now, and out came Robert Fuller. And he came out, Cal was like, "Oh, what's this? This guy, hit him with a baseball bat and stuff." Uh, and you know, uh, Jeff looked at Robert and said, "Look, we made a deal. Come in, help me out with the Moondogs, maybe get those USWA championship, tag team championships. And guess what? You know what? We go in, we try. If we lose, we won't team ever again. We won't even try it ever again. We'll keep teaming as long as we keep winning. We'll keep teaming, but as soon as we lose the match, we'll just call it quit." Shook hands on that. So I'm thinking now, instead of using it for that, do this for let let's put Swerve and Adam Page together. That same angle, Swerve would get on TV, be like, "Look, uh, tell you what, Page, we beaten the hell out of each other. I think we both beaten the respect out of each other. Adam Page will disagree. But yep, I got respect for you now, and right now it's all water under the bridge." Um, and Swerve did some things. Like, hey, uh, maybe go back and have a match or two with the Hurt Syndicate, get that win back somehow, and say, "Hey, uh, we gotta fight these Death Riders, man. So go ahead, put them together, and say, look, I got some match here with who cares, whatever team, Big Bill and Brian Keith or something like that. It's like, I got some match this week. Let's try it. Tell you what, here's the deal. Well, as long as we winning, we'll team with each other. But once we lose, we'll shake hands, move on. You know, so they shake hands, make that deal. So I'll probably take them, Swerve uh, and a Page, bring them up, have them have a match with Kings of Wrestling. I'm thinking at World's End, possibly. Uh, Maybe before that, depends. Like I said, I have to really dive deep and stuff like that to get everything. Uh, but then have them be the team that defeats the Kings of Wrestling. Probably might not be World's End, maybe Forbidden Door, or maybe just something like that. You want to save for a pay per view, because that seems, if you build them up just right, um, it'll be more of a money match. So I think I would want to put that on pay per view. And of course, you probably sitting there going, "Why are you putting Swerve and Paige together?" It's like, should one of these people be the saviors or whatever of finally end it, finally taking down Moxley? Yeah, they could be, but uh, well, in my little fantasy book, and they done lost. Um, and Swerve's done lost a few matches here and there and whatnot, but uh, they're so. My thinking is they're so over with the AEW crowd that you could put them in there doing this, doing their part to help save AEW from. I think they're big enough AEW stars that they're doing their part in saving AEW from the Death Riders and Shane McMahon by putting them together and defeating um shit Kings of Wrestling. Um, as far as the trios championship, let's see who let's see. Got the Kings there. If you want to put the Kings back with Pac, they defeat the Ops. and then maybe put the Elite back together, or have Kenny Omega with uh, 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 Okada. Who else? Let him, let him maybe put Hobbs in there. Let him be like the big bulldozing monster of a guy. Help bring him up, or if not him, maybe this new kid Kevin Knight or something like that. Because in the meantime, I'm going to really start building up Will Ospreay. Yes, I know I didn't have reason I didn't have him winning the Owen Hart and going down to John Moxley, because I want to save him, build him from the Owen Hart tournament, build him back up, because let's face it, he is over with the crowd, of course. Now you have more eyes on the product, hopefully, because you included Shane McMahon, so they're hitting their marks on, at least on TBS. I ain't talking about Max. Supposedly on Max, they don't give a time frame, but they've been doing decent numbers, good numbers on Max. But so now they're getting new viewers on TBS. I'm hoping. So this is why you signed Will Ospreay. You didn't sign him to be a mid carder. You signed him to be a top guy. You got two other top guys. Basically, getting the tag team titles off. You got you signed that McKnight or that Kevin Knight guy. He seemed pretty good. Has a little bit of charisma to him. Not sure how well he gets over. Like I said, maybe have them double champions, the Kings of Wrestling with Pac, the trios as Kings of Wrestling or the tag team champions as well. If you want to do that, or just have the trios belt be, some big card thing. But I would want to build Will Ospreay back up, and you can do like a little 4-way. You can have uh, almost like a babyface 4-way or 3-way if you want to. You don't have to be another tournament. Get rid of these freaking tournaments and have a match with Adam Page, Swerve. Maybe you can't put Kenny Omega in there and Will Ospreay. They have their match. Will Ospreay wins the match. The other three get up. They go there. They shake his hand and say, "Hey, it's on you now. Not only did you earn the spot, but you earned the right to go there. We got your back 100%. No funny business this time. Let's end this." So so that's how I would put, plus win other matches. Push, Will Ospreay. World's End. Might as well go there. Will Ospreay, John Moxley. A lot of negotiation. We're going to put them in a cage, uh, and have them have not them exiting the cage or anything, just to keep everybody out. All the team AEW people, all the team Shane McMahon and Death Riders out of it, and then of course put some stakes in this. It's like, hey, if Moxley goes over, I get to take over this company. If you know, uh, Moxley loses, I don't get to take it over or anything like that. Not sure if you want to put like he leaves, he goes away or whatever, because it'd be kind of hard to. You can find if of course, if he comes in, put his name in, I'm pretty sure he's going to be, like I said, part of helping on the back. So he can not be an honor talent. I think hopefully by then you've gotten everybody over that you want to get over. Let's go from there, tell a new story. So Will Ospreay beats John Moxley, becomes the heavyweight champion, champagne bottles and stuff like that. So that's the long and short of it. So what do you folks think? Crazy, stupid, somewhat interesting, somewhat, or are you thinking, dude, you need to get a radio in your truck that works and listen to music and sing. Sing in your truck. Don't sing out loud. Just sing in your truck to yourself. Do that besides talking, taking up all this bullshit. Oh, damn, I meant to record that. Oh, well. But like I said, uh, not as detailed as I want to get, but somewhat, a lot of details in the beginning. Uh, Not crazy, some good stuff. Yeah, thanks. And like I said, this is what people do, man. This is what kind of makes it fun. Get on here, share some ideas. If y'all got any ideas? Let's have it. I'm ready. Sort of. Not for long though. Gosh, it is freaking hot in here. I think I'm gonna have to get some. I'm gonna have to call the landlord, get this AC fixed. It's not working right. I think in the beginning, yeah, go ahead, say some stuff. Just get it out of the way. Just do it, you know, because you got to have a reason why he's coming in, and he's got to have a chip. He has a chip on the shoulder. Um, and why does he have a chip on his shoulder? Well, he thought he was going to be the heir apparent to the WWE, but that didn't happen. So he's coming in, uh, and something like that. It's almost, excuse me, almost NWO ish. People thought, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall coming in to, you know, Vince sent them in to take over the company. But in this case, okay, he's saying, nope, not affiliated with, I'm not with the WWE. I'm not here I'm not doing it on the behalf of the WWE. I'm doing it on the behalf of me. This is the reason I'm doing it. Uh, I'm doing it because I should be somewhere else, but I'm not. So uh, I'm not ready to play nice no more. I'm going to take this company over. But notice I didn't say, I mean, I did say rule the wrestling world. Hey, of course. You know. But I didn't say anything about Shane taking over AEW after this feud and then putting WWE out of business. He just said rule the wrestling world, meaning, yeah, there might be all these other companies, but he wants to be number one. So I purposely left out him uh, wanting to take over AEW. I said, just take over AEW to rule the wrestling world, not take over AEW. Then we're going to put WWE out of business. And like I said, there's got to be a reason he's wanting to do this. He's got that chip on his shoulder. He feels what's the word I'm looking for? What's that word? Kids are. He feels that he should have been the heir apparent. It was for him, but it didn't happen. So that's why he's mad. Now he's was out of it, not with the WWE, trying to come in AEW, turn things around and whatnot. And plus, that's family. I mean, like I said before, as much as I was harsh on CM Punk, Will Ospreay doing their thing about uh, trying to dog WWE, uh, like the Will Ospreay going about only reason you're there is because you were banging the boss's daughter. That same old line's been used for 20 years now. That he had no business to talk about. But in this case, it is family. It is the company. He thought he was going to be taken over, and it didn't happen. That's the story. That's the reasoning for him to be there to uh, cause chaos. Then, like I said, we don't have to have this a 2 year, 4 year, whatever deal. Let's start here, tell a story. Um, and I'm pretty sure if I really, yeah, one time, I think the first time he left on his own. I mean, I don't know the reasoning or anything like that. Um, Now, like you said, I will agree. If that whole WWE Underground or whatever show they had like 2 or 3 episodes of, where there was in some kind of uh, kumite looking deal, smoky room and all that, and they was doing you know work sheet matches or fights, whatever, in this smoky room bar kumite arena. If 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 that was his big ideas for a lot of things, then yeah, I think I'd stay away from that too. I understand that, yeah, you're a UFC fan. A lot of WWE, AEW, a lot of people in the world are UFC fans. But putting UFC into professional wrestling, it's it's not a fit. Just like if you put WWE into a UFC situation. That makes sense. Pro wrestling doesn't want UFC in that spot, nor does UFC want any kind of WWE style BS. That's, I mean, yeah, I forgot what it's called, WWE. But yeah, he just, uh, what year was it? Let's pull it up. Why not? Why not? I think he just went to work, either start another bit, not start another business, but um, went to work. So yeah, okay, and in 2004, he founded Seven Stars Cloud Group, which became a Ideanomics, where he serves as executive chairman on October 1st, 2009. McMahon announced his resignation from the WWE. Later that year, he became the CEO of entertainment service company U On Demand. On July 12th, 2003, McMahon stepped down as CEO of U On Demand and appointed uh, Wei Cheng Lu as his successor, while remaining the company's principal executive officer and vice chairman of the board until 2021. When McMahon was promoted executive chairman, or when he was, in 2021, he was promoted to executive chairman. In 2016, he did return to the WWE, where he was prominently featured figure until October 2029. August 2020, he wrestled or appeared at WWE events sporadically. As of 2025, his most recent appearance occurring at WrestleMania 39, where he tore his ACL. So, so yeah, he basically left at his own regard. That he kind of started a business and went to work someplace else. So, in hindsight, being 2020, um, I'm pretty sure when he did meet Tony Khan, he's going in there going, "I don't need the money. I work for this other company now that pays me. I'm, executive vice president, whatever. They pay me plenty of money. I don't need to come here. If I do come here, then yeah, I'm going to want a lot. I want equity, and I want to take it over." So he probably put that bar so far up that Tony did, you know, he probably Shane probably put that demand a lot just for Tony to say no. If that makes sense. Uh, I've seen companies kind of do this in my field. I've seen like grain companies who are like really busy, um, and they really don't have time for this other project, but the developer wants them to put in a bid, and they'll probably put an out, a really higher than usual bid just so they can get, you know, just so the developer would go, that's a little out of our price range, so we'll kind of go somewhere else. They'll do that just on purpose, so because they're busy doing other things. Then once they finish those or finish or finally, okay, you got another project coming up. We'll come back down to normal prices and we'll do this job because they want to keep their good clients. So let's see, joking. Personally, Tony needs to double down on and say, hey, this is my company. Quit uh, leaning on Japan, working out, uh, worrying about hardcore fans. Um, Tony needs a booker. That's uh, Tony is not a creative guy. I don't think his brand of my opinion. Uh, he's not creative. His creation is okay. This week, Kenny Omega goes up against uh, who do you want to wrestle this week? Kenny. Oh, you want to wrestle Ricochet? All right, Ricochet. Kenny Omega versus Ricochet. But and it's kind of sucks. He's got some people back there that can sit there and go. It's like, okay, let's let's see what we'll get. Let's do some, you know, story building, character building, not just throw names. Let's have things make sense. It's like, okay, we'll give them. This is no jab at AR Fox is good, but he's not up there. So, all right, Kenny Omega goes up against AR Fox. Kenny wins, of course, because he's prepping for his big pay-per-view match against Ricochet. And gosh, they need to find Ricochet a manager. Ha ha! God, that's so fucking cringe. But yeah, he just I mean, I don't know what kind of deal Bubba Ray has with WWE, but once this L wherever that show is, if that's the only thing he's uh has to do with the company, then why not give him a shot? Give Bubba Ray a shot. Um, and to say, hey, what he says. I mean, I'm pretty sure they will give him like you know maybe Jerry Lynn or whoever to help with creative, uh, pitching storylines, stuff like that. And he can be the guy to kind of put things together, make it make sense, and stuff like that. Tony's not the guy to do that. Oh, has he? Eh, see, I can't really think of anybody else. I mean, because I think they got. I mean, I think they got Steve Carino. They got Gabe Sapolsky, whatever his name is. Uh, I mean, they have. I mean, okay, yeah. Steve Carino still works for WWE. I do believe. Yep, he's still with the WWE. I mean, really, I say um, Bubba Ray because Bubba Ray, you need that toughest nails person in there. To go, hey, this is how it's going to be. You go out there, do my best. If it doesn't work, it's on me. I'll take the heat. But you go in there, just do do as I say, and then if you don't want to, there's the door. And Tony Khan's got to back him. Let's see, he started. They cut Mickey James, Adam McCool for next season. Yeah, I seen where she had didn't like what another one of those trainees was wearing. I'm sitting there thinking, it's like, didn't you do porn? Yeah, I mean there is. Then that's hey, there's a door. Good luck finding another billionaire. Because it's like I said before, somebody, I don't know if it's Tony Khan himself, somebody's looking at the books right now. There's a reason they're not in Mickey James. Yeah, Mickey James is the one who had a problem with what one of the trainees was wearing. And I'm like, Mickey James, didn't you wear like, cut off jeans and do porn? But cool, no, I don't think she did. The only thing she did was Undertaker. Um, what was I saying? Damn, I lost my train of thought. Now somebody is looking at the books that, hey, you're spending a lot of money going to these arenas and not filling them. There's a reason they went from um, Gas South Arena to Athens Arena. That's not even a 10,000 seat place. Some of these places they're going to are, you know, less than 10,000 seats, including including four seats. Um, and they going to try to fill up Texas Stadium or AT&T Stadium, which they might do it. I don't think they're charging nearly as much as WWE is for their tickets. And I said to somebody today, they're just like any form of entertainment. They turn into like every form of entertainment now. I'm speaking about WWE. The regular fan ain't gonna be able to be going to these shows anymore. I mean, it's great they can fill up when they can fill up these huge stadiums, but then you want to do these meet greets where you got to pay. Good night, Brenda Watson. Uh, where you got to charge fans even more, like 500, $600 to get an autograph with Cody Rhodes. Like, you out of your freaking mind? I mean, I'm not sure if that could not be 100% correct, but I mean, I did get it from the internet, so it must be right. It must be. It must be true. It's true. It's true. But I also say it's like, hey, some of these big money deals are going to be uh, coming up soon. So if they're not, yeah, WWE. I mean, you can watch SmackDown on USA. Now you can watch, like I said before, if you want to watch Evolve, Tubi's free. Tubi's free of charge. You just download it. You don't even have to have an account, quote unquote, account there. The only reason you might want to put a quote unquote account if you just sit there and watch other stuff and say you're watching like a TV show, TV series that's not wrestling, um, then say you're watching like Bonanza or something like that. You go episode one, two, three, four, go to bed. Guess what? Next day you can watch episode five, six, seven, and whatnot. It keeps your place, in other words. But it's totally free. You don't pay anything. I think there's which I mean, it doesn't matter when you watch Raw live, you're gonna get commercials. That's about the only thing I like about this these weeks when they were in the UK. By the time first of all, I get to watch them about 6:30 at night. So by the time the show's over, it's about 9 o'clock, not close to 11. Um, and also I can fast forward through the commercials. That's the good thing about it. But you can get like a Netflix where even if you're watching a movie, you'll have commercials, and it's like a lower price than everything else. But yeah, NXT is on CW, which is a network. TV station. SmackDown's on USA now. But if you got the Peacock, you can watch the WWE. Oh, by the way, I guess since this SmackDown is on USA, they don't get replayed on Peacock ever. Same with Raw. Raw don't have any kind of replays as of now since they're on Netflix. So you're definitely right on the Raw, but I was definitely wrong about the SmackDown. SmackDown. Last SmackDown that I had was from before they went on USA. Unless they wait a month, not a week, a month. But yeah, these AEW contracts, somebody's gonna look at the books again, and I mean it's great. It's great if they're doing good numbers for Max. They better hope they can do great numbers because WB or Warner Brothers Discovery, they gonna look at these numbers too, and be like, you know what, we can't pay you guys anymore. Okay, or okay, we can pay you guys maybe a little more, but not too much more, because I mean, you got the same results. You peak at like 600,000 people on TBS. I mean, you do okay on our network. I mean, but I can we can produce something, easily replace that. We can come up with a Batman TV show or something like that can replace that. If they stay in the streaming business long enough, anyway. I mean, that's another thing. But yeah, I mean, so if they lose that and maybe, you know, go to another network that might pay them less as well, or these other international deals, it's like you do. We could pay you the same since you're doing the same, and if that happens, they resign for the same or maybe a little more. Uh, some of these contracts they have, they're gonna have to start. Somebody's gonna step in and look and go, "Hey, uh, we're gonna have to get rid of a lot of the talent here, and we're gonna start with some of these, you know, high dollar talents." So, and what are you going? Vince can't take them all. TNA maybe will take some, but they're not going to get paid the same as WWE. Or did I say Vince? Excuse me. WWE won't take them all. But what do I know? Anyway, I think that's going to do it for me for this evening. Yes, tomorrow is Wrestling Gold Friday night. Check that out. Want to watch some world class wrestling from either 83 or 84. I forgot which one I've got saved up. Speaking of WrestleMania, I let's see, April 14th about oh yeah, on April 14th about five at around 5:30 p.m. Um, Classic Wrestling Reminiscing WrestleMania 3 will be up and available to watch. So check that out when that happens. Um, I've done recorded it, everything, but I just didn't release it yet. Wanted to let's sit there and simmer a little bit. Wait till at least WrestleMania week and play that. So yeah, like I said, April 14th. And, if you wait till April 15th, 16th, 17th, December 25th, they'll still be on YouTube. So whenever you get a chance to check that out, they'll be greatly appreciated. So yeah, other than that, you guys know what to do. Like, comment if you didn't watch this live. Again, like, comment, share with friends. If you're not a subscriber, be a champ and become a subscriber. Hit the notification bell if you're watching on Facebook Live. Again, like, comment, because I think this stays up for a little bit. I think this one does. I gotta, when I get back tomorrow, I've got to, I guess, change my music for Wrestling Gold Friday night, because I got no copyright claims or anything on YouTube. Facebook, they took it off. They took it off and said it might be somebody else's. I forget what they said. I think I took a screenshot. Da, 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 da. Yeah, Badabun, BADABUN, blocked my video from last week because it may contain content they own. I don't know. Anyway, it's not on. Last week's Wrestling Gold Friday night. It's not on Facebook, but it is on YouTube. So check it out on there if you missed it. Other than that, you folks have a good one. Take it easy, and until next time.
So long from the peach state of Georgia.
Thank you for checking out our P2 Vision. Subscribe to our P2 Vision to watch Ronald Ray's content that covers the sport of professional wrestling from yesterday to today. His weekly content starts off with Wrestling Trivia Tuesday. Every Tuesday, Ronald Ray asks 5 questions about the sport of professional wrestling. So tune in and have some fun. Then it's WWE Monday Night Raw recaps, where he recaps all the action from the Raw brand. Ronald Ray also does an AEW Dynamite recap show where he recaps and has fun doing it. Do you like live streams? Well, join Ronald Ray live on Spot Show Livestream, where he discusses current wrestling. Join the chat and have fun. Spot Show Livestream is on Thursday nights starting at 8 p.m. If current pro wrestling isn't your thing, like all wrestling past and present, or you're a new fan and want to hear how things were back in the day, then tune in to Wrestling Gold Friday night, where Ronald Ray discusses back in the day when wrestling was wrestling featuring watch-alongs. That's Wrestling Gold Friday